interact a little bit more. So I was thinking tonight, if people are comfortable, to maybe do a little bit of a Q&A, and we can get your feedback, even if you just type in the chat. If you don't want to actually unmute yourself, we can go through some charts and stuff like that and look at some charts that have already played out. But what I've done is I've blocked out if it's actually been successful or unsuccessful, and we can kind of talk about it, because we've got some feedback where people can see what's happening in hindsight, but we can't actually see what's happening before it happens. So we're just going to go through, you know, would we take this trade, and then how does it play out? But I've also got some feedback that some people are a bit iffy on the indicators. So we're going to go over some indicators. I just need Dom to give me the host thing to share my screen. So we'll see if he makes me host.
Sorry, that's done.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So let's go into Liberty first. All right. Can everyone see my screen? Get my chat up. Awesome. All right. So get that out of the way. So here on the indicators, mute some. I've got the TV on. Sorry. There we go. All right. So here in the indicators, we're just going to go over some stuff some more. So basically, this is on Liberty. So you all have access to this when you have your subscription. And here you're going to have your candles, and you're going to have your Bollinger Bands. This is on the 2.0. And then you have your buying power here. And then this is kind of like your RSI, sorry, where it's got the overbought and oversold. So, you know, when we're having a look, let's try to find something that's good. So here, for example, we've got our engulfing candle here, and you can see that the buying power is going down because we've got our gray candle indicator here, and then we have our overbought here. So it's engulfed. Now, it didn't actually go to the 50% of this engulfing candle, which is actually what we wait for. But you can see that the down move did continue to go down, and we also had that flip on this little dot just here. So if you have any questions or anything at all about indicators, do you just want to write it in the chat now, and we can go over that before we move on to some of the charts? We'll just wait. It can be like the simplest question at all, like about engulfing candles or doji candles or anything like that. If you're having issues getting to this Liberty, anything at all. I'm going to take that as no for now. Let me share my screen for this one. All right, so we're going to go over these charts here, or to the top. All right, so let's go over this. Here we go. So does anyone want to put their hand up at all to come off mute and talk about this setup right here and whether we're going to take the trade or not? Anyone at all? If not, we can just talk through it. But I would like to get you guys interacting a little bit more, because I find that you're going to learn a lot more. I know it's scary as hell getting thrown under the bus, but it's really good to actually talk about these things and bounce off each other about what this is going to do. So I might even ask everyone a question, and you can write in the chat what you think. So we have a candle here, which is blue. It's going up. It's gone past the Bollinger Band here. Now we have this red candle here. So that is an engulfing candle. Now we have it going to about 50%. Would we take this trade or not? What do you guys think? Just write yes or no in the chat if you would take the trade.
Just quickly, this is awesome, Danny, by the way. I really like doing this. So guys, I actually want everyone to make sure they've all had to put something in there, and want to see everyone have an answer. in the chat, pretty please, because this is cool. It's going to go help and see. It's actually quite a little tough one because I know what my answer would be, but with the Bollinger Bands being so close together, it's actually a little bit, yeah, it would make me second guess myself a little bit personally for my own setup, but I love it. I love it. This is good, Danny. Keep it up. Let's see everyone's answers.
Let's have a look. So we got a yes, we got a no.
Danny, it's Ryan. On my screen, it's got a black screen in front of it.
The little black box.
Yeah, so I can't
That's
see.
there on purpose. That's kind of blocked out.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I've blocked it out, and then we're going to have a look at
what you're going, okay, sorry, I just jumped on the call then, so I'm a bit behind.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine.
Thanks for joining the conversation, Hoopsie.
No, all good. I just jumped on, so I was a bit rattled, man. So now I get it. All right, thank you.
Would you take it, Ryan, while you're off mute? Would you take the trade?
If I'm just looking at it now, quickly, I'm not loving all the doji candles ahead of that. So I'm just going to say no, but actually, I'm just going to say no, but I'm not, to be honest, I'm not super confident with that answer.
Okay.
But I'm just going to throw it out there, no.
Yep. Cool. Awesome. So
because it's a little bit wiki for me.
Yep. Yeah.
And just all the doji candles leading up and like
yeah, so it's not very clean, is it?
It's not very clean, no.
No. Okay, so we're going to scroll down. We're going to get the actual how it played out. So here we go. We've got our candle. It's gone down. We've got the 50%. And then look what's happened. So can anyone kind of see why that may have happened? You can say no, and I'll explain it. But if anyone might have a kind of reasoning or like a guess as to why it actually went the other way, I'd love to hear what you're kind of thinking. Most people said no, but no, you shouldn't have gone opposite. It's not necessarily opposite. I think the wick to the upside, not necessarily. So I want everyone to be 100% honest, 100% honest. How many people looked at the indicators below down here before they made their decision? Is everyone just going off the bowl bands and the candles that are in front of them? Like how many?
No, I looked at the indicators down the bottom.
Sweet, perfect. So we would be going for a sell. If it's gone down engulfing, we're going to assume that it's going to go down. So the reason why it didn't go down, or a very probable reason why, is because on this candle here, it was going down, but down here, was it overbought? It wasn't overbought. It was actually in the oversold section. So it's gone and pushed up. So if we wanted it to keep going down, we'd be looking for an overbought, something like this.
So that's what Dom would call a fake out usually, right, Dom?
Yeah, that's correct, mate. That's what a fake out would predominantly look at. I know if you had, because that bottom one there is the wave, which basically that I like that indicator. It's a combination of the awesome oscillator that we have on pocket options and the RSI at the same time. Essentially, if you just take that line as the line that's going through the waves, or through the mountains, the red and blue mountains, as being like an RSI, and then your waves being like your awesome oscillator. But yeah, essentially that was like a way. And I know we don't have this now, Danny, but I also would have been like curious to see what the 5 minute would have shown. I'm sure there would have been more room to grow to the top of the Bollinger Band, which would have given you that extra confidence that, okay, it's got more room to grow, so I'm not going to jump in yet. But I know for me personally, Dan, as I said, the Bollinger Bands, because they were so close together, even if an opportunity presented itself, it's a very small chance. Like you can see in reality, you'd probably only fit another candle to the downside even if it did go down and didn't fake you out. So whereas when the Bollinger Bands are wider, as you can see at that very last sell button, sell candle, which is to the left, or the right, sorry, to the right, that last sell one, you know, you can see how wide the Bollinger Bands are. So there was a bigger movement that took place there. We've got in. So that's one thing to take in consideration when you're looking at it. But yeah, you're right. Right, that's what it was.
All right, on to the next.
That was a good little test. Well done. I like that.
Yeah, well, we've got three. We're going to go through three of them.
Oh, good.
Yeah. All right. So next up, this one's a little bit zoomed in. All right. So we have this one again. We've got our wick, so it's rejecting from the top. looks like it's going to go down. We've got a nice big engulfing candle. It hasn't quite gone to the 50%, but it is retracing. What are we thinking? It's right in the chat. Yes or no?
I'm loving that engulfing candle. That's what I'm loving.
Yeah, it's a very strong engulfing candle.
Yeah.
What are we all thinking? Say yes or no whether you take the trade. And you're more than welcome to come off mute if you want to talk about it. No?
Hey, Danny, how you going?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm on my car at the moment. I'm actually out for tea, but I just snuck out just to be in a call.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, just again with that volume down the bottom going into the dark red. That's sticking out to me a lot. Probably not to go into it as well. And again, like Dom said, I'd have to look at the 5 minutes, see where we are.
Yeah.
And yeah, probably I'm guessing pretty much a no for me. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, it is looking like it's about to go into overbought. But I'm learning how to use that bottom one on Liberty as well, because I'm used to using pocket options with the what's it called, the Scotch and all that sort of stuff. I just pretty much just learned tonight that you could use this in the same way. So yeah. But by the way, this presentation is unreal. I love what you're doing. This is really good.
Aww,
so yeah,
thank you.
It's good.
I'm going to say yes, just because of the engulfing candle, and I'm thinking that might be shooting up into overbought, the bottom one.
Okay,
but
cool.
I'm just going to say yes.
Cool. Also, guys, I only put this together only like half an hour ago, so there wasn't too much charts I could do. But if you do really like this kind of form of learning, I'm more than happy to kind of put some more effort in. And I can get some on pocket options. We can get some 5 minutes and 1 minute and make like this whole system a little bit more, I guess, realistic, where we're going to be looking at the 1 minute and the 5 minute and pocket options and comparing all three and then deciding whether we're going to take the trade, because that's realistic what we would do. But yeah, just trialing out this whole education system first to see how you guys like it.
Because to be honest, I've been doing this for almost a year now. I started early in the year, and that's one thing I was having trouble with, like reading the candles. I know Dom always said like that I can get everything else quite easily, but reading the candles is something I'm still not very sharp on. So this is ideal.
Yeah, awesome. I'm glad. All right. Well, we'll keep doing this. Even if we do it fortnightly, maybe we'll have some like or like every 3 weeks, we'll have somewhere it's live trading, somewhere we're doing some hindsight kind of stuff like this, where we're actually actively figuring out whether we're going to trade but not actually placing them, and then we can just alternate between the calls because they only go for about half an hour, but we'll look at doing this. Cool. So this trade, if we take it or not, we're going to scroll down, look at the, what one was it? It was the wick. So come have a look at what happened. So we have our strong wick down to the downside, didn't make the 50%, and then she's gone up again. So it's very similar to the previous one. Those bell bands are very close together. You did have that dot going to the downside. So this is one of these things, but again, I wouldn't have taken it because it's not an overbought. So basically, I find that in regards to successful trades, when you start loosening up on how many things align with each other and you have that confluence between multiple factors, it's when your trades start going the opposite way. When you start getting lazy, when you're like, oh, I usually used to look for 5, but now I've got 2 out of 5, I've got 3 out of 5, and you kind of let a few go because you're just getting a little bit cocky, a little bit egotistic on how you're trading. You've had heaps of wins, you're like, oh, I've got this, and you forget about a few of the indicators and stuff like that. That's when you start going to the opposite way. So I'm just trying to get everyone to have a look at all the indicators, how many things are in confluence with each other before we're actually taking the trade. Because personally, like I said, I found that when you get lazy and start forgetting about certain ones, that's when you can kind of see your results turn around. So has anyone got any more questions about this one? Is everyone kind of happy with how this played out and why it played out the way it did?
Yes.
Cool. All right. Hi, Ethan. Thanks for joining. All right. So last one for tonight. All right. Here we go. So, sorry, I did this very quickly. They're all very small bell bands. But let's have a look at this one. So again, we're nice and close to that bowl band. We've got another huge engulfing, and it's definitely come to that 50%. It's going to the downside. What are we thinking? Alison, if I see the line in the wave when color is under or overbought or oversold. Oh, okay. Just explain the bottom indicator. Yeah. So this is kind of when it's overbought, and when it's red, it's an oversold. So with this one, we've got our bowl bands, the dots flipped. So, you know, you'd think you'd go down. We've had some nice big movements previously. What are we thinking? Dom says no, not overbought. Yep.
Yeah, no, not overbought.
All right.
I think your blackout kind of gives it away.
I know. All right, so this one didn't go ahead either. I kind of stitched you guys up. I kind of picked ones on purpose that didn't go ahead. I didn't pick anyone that went ahead because I feel like everyone, when they do go the right way, everyone's like, yep, I get that.
Yeah.
No one really knows why it went the wrong way. So I picked I picked 3 that went the wrong way. So wait, where we go? Yeah. So if you go down to 50%, look, maybe if you did 3 minutes, you would have just snuck in, but if you did a 2 minute or 1 minute, that wouldn't have gone through.
Do you ever do a 3 minute, sorry, or are you usually working off the 1 and 2 minute?
Honestly, I will go off what the market's doing. So just
right.
Kind of
so you're similar to Dom.
Yeah. So you I personally come onto the charts, you sit there for about 10 or 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You watch how the charts are moving. Are they moving quick? Are they moving slow? Is it quiet? Are the candles big? Are they small? If it's a lot quieter and they're smaller, sometimes take them for a little bit larger. If they're
say that again. If they're big and smaller, you'll take it for a larger one.
If it was something like this, and I was expecting it to go down, I would go. I wouldn't, like, this isn't for everyone else, but me personally, I would go for a 3 minute so that the move can happen because it's that's personally me. Dom might be different. When everything's going quite nuts and it's really, really fast, that's when I do my shorter trades. But again, everyone's different. That's why we have our demo accounts. We see what works for us individually, and then what works for me might not work for you, and different things. But also sometimes based off candle structure, I'm not sure how many people understand candle structure and how they work. Sometimes I'll actually close it on the actual pocket options time stamp, I guess. So what happens is like if you get in here and you do it for 2 minutes, if it's after 30 seconds, it means that it's going to close on this candle. If you open it in the first 30 seconds of this candle, then it will close on this candle. And that will be based off, I know where I can see another candle closing and I want to close at a certain point. But if you're just looking for it to be under a certain point and you think that it can do different things, you can do what Dom said, where you just do the specified 1 minute or 2 minute. But this is all like personal preference. You getting on your demo, doing your like your specified time, your pocket options time, doing your 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Hey, looking at the 5 minute, even 30-second trades, different stuff like that. That just all comes down to what you're looking for and what the market's kind of showing you, and adjusting your trading style to what the markets are presenting to you.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep, of course.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that made sense, but I tried to.
No,
I'm really bad with my words.
No, it did. That was good.
Does anyone else have any questions or anything? I don't really have much else to say, so I'd probably cut this call a little bit short, unfortunately, today, because I didn't really prepare too much. But more than happy to talk about a few extra things if you have any questions, even if it's not about these particular charts. If you just have any questions about HFX in general, pocket options. if you want me to go on pocket options now and have a look at what the markets are doing.
Do you flick back to Liberty like I'm on the 5 minute usually, or you flick between the 5 and the 1 minute?
I will commonly have the 1 minute on both, but occasionally, like probably every, I guess, 5 to 10 minutes, I'll flick back to the 5 minute.
Yeah, right. So you hold one.
You kind of know what's going on for about 5 minutes and you're looking at the ones. And then after that time, it's a bit irrelevant. So you go back to your 5 minute, you see what's up.
Yeah.
Then you go back to your 1 minute. So you don't have to stay on your 5 minute per se. You can, if you have 3 monitors, you might be lucky. Or you can just have a 5 minute on Liberty and your 1 minute on pocket options. But
that's what I seem to do.
One on one. And I'll just flick to the 5 minute just for a little quick overview, and then I'll go back to the 1 minute.
Yep,
for me personally, I'll have the Liberty on 5 because that's obviously when it comes to trading, high time frames always have the best preference and will be the biggest mover. So that way I just like to see that one. Yes, I don't need to look. Then look at Alison's question.
I like that answer question Alison just asked as well. That's a good one.
Are you able to open up Liberty, Danny? And I'll explain this one. But in an absolute short synopsis, it's just to see, does it still have more room to grow? I speak about this every week on the call, but it's okay because we can keep saying it because it's really important to understand why this is the case. Because basically you can see, well, actually in reality, it just prevents us from fake outs. So if we're looking at the 5 minute right now, and let's just say that 5 minute, which it's a good example. Right now, the 5 minute is nowhere near the top of the Bollinger Band, right? So that shows it's still got more room to go until it reaches the top of the Bollinger Band. But if you're looking only at the 1 minute and it's already at the top of the Bollinger Band, therefore, and it's giving you indications that it's going to fall, and it looks like it's going to fall, then you get in for a sell and you get faked out. That is because the 5 minute hasn't gotten there yet. So we need to see that both the 1 and the 5 are in the same area on the same part of the Bollinger Band. And when that happens, it just increases our chances of winning the profit. So it just helps us to show, is there more room to grow? If there is, then that's the reason as to why. Because when you see on the 1 minute on pocket options, for example, and you can see the Bollinger Band, like you can see candles continue to move up the Bollinger. See if I can annotate this. See how like this, for example, here, which I can do. See how that's staying on the Bollinger Band? And and you'll see that often on the 1 minute, and you're like, why is it doing that? When in reality, and it doesn't happen often, but that's just purely because if this was the 1 minute, it's because the 5 minute is probably only showing it to be there. Hasn't quite gotten there yet. And that's all it's designed to do. I hope does that make sense?
Yep. It did to me anyway.
I hope that makes sense, Alison. It's okay.
Alison,
hopefully that makes sense. If you just go to the 1, actually, just flick to the 1 on this. We were just on it, weren't we? But anyway, just go back to it. So look where obviously that, well, here's an example. Like it's not the best example because it's nowhere near like anywhere at all. It's complete opposite. So that's why I'll personally be trading this right now. But just say for the 1 minute right now, we were already at the top of that Bollinger Band there. And we're like, sweet, I want to sell. I'm going to get in for a sell because it's showing all our normal indicators. And then we flip back to the 5. Go back to the 5 thing. And then we see, all right, what is the 5 doing? Oh shit, we're nowhere near there yet. We've still got all this room to grow.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm not going to sell yet. I'm going to wait. And that's just all that is. Anyway. And also to Ryan as well, because I know the candle thing's an issue, and it is for a few people because especially this form of trading, it's so much more important to really understand engulfing candles, mitigation, the retracement, all that kind of jazz.
The 50-cent retracement one as well, which is,
it doesn't always happen. I've showed those times where it hasn't happened. That's where I know Joey posted in the group. I'll repost what Joey sent, but he actually sent this little clip that just goes over candles again. So that'd be one that I'd recommend. You may have not seen that, man, but I recommend you watch that. And anyone else watch that, I'll post that, repost it back in the chat so it's back at the bottom.
Yeah, cool. That would be great, man. Thank you.
Just sort of really clarifies that because this is really important with that. Danny, just want to say thank you so much. That was awesome, by the way. Really good stuff to test. She was thrown under the bus a little bit in terms of last minute with only a short period of time. So that's actually really cool because I'll
well done, Danny.
Thank you.
We'll do a bit of that together. Now I'm walking through the door as we speak. So if you want to flick open, because I wouldn't mind just getting on the charts and just having a quick squiz. Just wait, Danny, maybe even just jump onto Pocket Options, load her up, and we'll just show a little bit. And whilst that happens, I do want to hear from a couple of people. I'm going to put you on the spot because I've been getting the charts sent from them to me. I'll get that out. But Ethan sent me some really good examples. Pez, I'm going to put you on the spot, mate, if you want to unmute yourself. And I think you already are muted. Have a bit of a chat, mate, because you've sent me some really good markups.
Oh, shit.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, mate.
Yep.
What's going on?
Not much, mate. Just ready to hear from the big rig.
Yeah, just those couple I sent through worked out all right for me, but still a bit unsure of what time to put on them. Whether it's a 1 minute or 2 minute or 3 minute or whatever. I had a couple the last couple of days, which I sort of got in on the right spot, but put the wrong time limit on it and lost it. So I sort of, got a bit of work to do there to figure out what time I should put on the trades.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Look, that's a common thing, I think, for a lot of us. And even sometimes, like, you guys, that last week, our call, that was just crappy setup. But, you don't, that comes through repetition, honestly does. Like I've told everyone, I've done over like 10,000 demo trades just to be able to make sure I get this right. Because I really wanted to get this right for people learning how to trade, more on the sense of some of you guys that have come through Smart Money. Like Smart Money was awesome and I got great results. But people didn't have that 6 month time frame to really learn and learn that. So I'm like, there has to be an alternative. So I understand that with me, my ability to learn this was, I wanted to be able to get a way for you guys to learn and cull down that learning curve. So understand though, for me to get that right and have that knowledge of the markets is because I did a shitload of demo trades. Now, can you guys say that have been around for whatever time, have you done your 10,000 demo trades? You know, the whole cliche of 10,000 hours. I know it seems quite like full on, a bit militant, but if you're serious about this, and I know most of you guys are, because you could be doing whatever else, anything else on a bloody Thursday night and you're rocking up on the call. So I know you guys want it, but as your want for it matching the actions of what you're actually doing on the charts. So, and yeah, you're trialing different times, or you've just got, I've got a spare half an hour, so I may as well just do it now. Not actually like doing it with the attitude, like I'm doing this to learn to get out of my fucking situation. I know most of you guys actually want this to not only, make a bit of money, but to change your situation moving forward. So, and this, I know this has gone in a bit of a mindset call, so I apologize for that, but like, understand that this is so freaking crucial. So I've just got this on now. Are you seeing anything? I'm looking at a couple that just happened to come up, and I encourage you guys, if you are listening to this, that you have got it, Pocket Options open as well at the same time, so you can see what we are seeing. I'm just loading my computer, Pocket Options, sorry. Just looking at a couple of pairs, we can see that a few hit the Bollinger Band, but then just pretty much went sideways before anything really happened. Euro AUD USD was interesting. It had the engulfing candle, but then just went sideways pretty much for 3 candles before then moving, which is and AUD JPY pretty much did the same thing. Interesting. And also, guys, it's correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
So that's going to affect the markets because public holiday there, so a lot of those exchanges will be closed. Markets will move a little bit less fast, which would explain, because when we're normally looking at the charts this time every week, whenever we've seen the Bollinger Band hit, it normally just runs. But if you see from some of these pairs like Euro JPY, AUD JPY, USD, AUD USD, they've all literally hit the Bollinger Band and then gone off, but then just went sideways, which is very interesting. And this is why it pays, because different pairs have literally like attitudes, and it's important to, practice and know and be consciously aware of what pair you're practicing on. and see if you get a bit more consistency with a particular pair, because other ones move. If you look at any JPY, so any kind of Asian currency pair, they tend to be a lot more wicky. So the wicks tend to be a little bit longer. And, you know, but your CHF, for example, tend to be smaller candles. Anything with a CHF in it, because there's less liquidity, it's a smaller country in terms of their economy, tends to move a lot less. So be aware of that. Feel free also, if you see anything, Danny, just to jump in. I wouldn't mind just seeing.
That's all right.
Live.
Just having a look.
Yeah. So I did also, guys, which I did put in the chat. I had a 40-minute gap between PT and footy training tonight, because I did say that I was going to do a live trading where I just literally called some trades. And so I did that. I've gone and put that up. So if you need to go check that out, you can, because obviously I want these calls to get to a point where we just jump on and we all just trade together at the same time, ideally. Depending on what.
Dom,
talk to me,
bro. Can you go on AUD JPY on pocket option for me, please?
Yep. I've got it up.
All right, mate. So you're on the 1 minute there. I'm on the 1 minute too. Now your candles are a lot bigger than my candles. So what?
That's Danny's screen, not mine. So.
All right. So what am I missing off my screen to show that the same screen? So I'm still showing obviously exactly the same.
Yeah.
But like the second to last one, the week down, mine just looks tiny. So it doesn't look like a big indicator like that.
You can change candle sizes like this on the side.
It's not.
Is it that?
Is it looking like what Danny's looking now? Like with that really shrunken.
What have you just popped your?
So on the side here where the pips are,
Mm-hmm.
or like the price action, sorry.
Yep.
You just drag it open and you can make these candles look larger or smaller on what you're looking.
Do you have a mouse?
Yeah. I'm just not seeing what you.
Roll the mouse, like literally roll it in, zoom out. It should move the chart.
Oh, like that?
Yeah, it's moving left and right. Yeah, it's doing that.
No, so if you click, see where it says 83.000 just here, or just even on your screen. If you actually hold it down and then you drag, you can actually change the size of your candles, because you're spreading out those numbers of price action.
No, it's not doing it. I'm on the monitor, so it's not on the laptop.
Matter, mate. If you've got a mouse, it shouldn't matter. We'll fix that, mate. I'll have to get you to share your screen and see what's going on as to why that's the case. When you zoom in, and you should be able to just roll your mouse, mate, and it should roll. Just having a look at EuroCAD, guys, presenting a potential opportunity. So we can see it didn't quite penetrate the Bollinger Bands, but we had a nice big engulfing candle. We're looking at the retracement candle now. Just want to see this take place. We had the gap starting to spread in the stochastic oscillator. I don't have Liberty open right now because I've only would have taken too long to load the other monitor. So if you've got that as well, it's there. Just watching this live, I can see if you guys have got it open. It's bouncing at the bottom of the engulfing candle. So just want to see, because it's already retraced a little bit deeper than what I would have liked. But as you can see, it's just pulling away now. So just want to see, that one's printed. Not ideal. And because we haven't pierced the Bollinger Band, it shows that there's still a little bit more selling pressure. But just so you can sort of see how that took place, I hope I was just showing mine as well. Yeah, so you can see there, the big engulfing candle didn't penetrate the Bollinger Band, but it was just enough there for me to see. And then I saw the retracement candle come, but we just retraced a little too deep. And so now that's gone away. I got a little bit too excited, but that's just a way to sort of see it and prevent you from falling into a fake out there as well. It's a shame. I thought it was going to take place, but it doesn't look like it's gone through.
All right.
Okay. Euro GPB has penetrated the Bollinger Band with a big rejection wick. Here comes the downward candle. We've taken the previous high. Euro GBP, just waiting to see this one. What also I did today with my I don't like that that's a rejection wick to the downside though as well, but I like this for a for us for a potential sell. I'm just looking at yours and mine at the same time so I can see the same thing. I just need to go on the 5 minute. You able to see what the 5 minute does? Do we have more room to grow?
You can look at the 5 minute on here if you want.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's at the top of the bowl band.
That's also at the top of the Bollinger Band, which is good. Have we taken previous? Oh, we're just massively. There's ages since the previous high. So
Yeah.
we're really trending high. So with that, just waiting and seeing opportunities, going to the back to the 1 minute on mine as well.
So on the oscillator, you can see here that these two lines are actually splitting. I personally like that when I can see the crossover and then see it splitting. That's
Me too.
Yeah, the big gap. Yeah.
100%. So this is an ideal, like not ideal in the sense of the reaction to the candles post. It's still one that for me is not pretty. So this is the one where if I'm live trading, I'm looking at, okay, have I won my previous trades? Is this my first trade? Have I traded just yet? If I haven't traded yet and this is my first one, I'm leaving it. If I've done a few trades feeling consistent and things are going well, then yes, I'm going to trade this for a sell-off, just because of all the indicators seem to line up just enough for me. So, this would be a 2 minute sell-off. A 2 minute sell-off based on how the candles have reacted, because we've literally just gone sideways creating liquidity. So that doji candle that presented the second one, pretty crap, causes enough doubt. But as I said, based on how I've gone through my previous trades, I'd look for a sell-off on this for that 2 minute sell-off, which it looks like it's going to continue to fall. So
yeah,
hope that makes sense. I'll do one more where we can actually try to call it as well. If I'll call it for you live, but that one there looks like that one's going to pan up too. Well, that doesn't really need, we can go over that now. Like it's literally just a wick. Allison is, let me annotate the screen. So I'll keep you on your screen. This is, so if we look here, right, basically the wicks are, the price tried to come up to that area, that price. So the wick, the candle came all the way up there and then rejected off and then fell back down to here, to that area. That's where it closed, right? So essentially price tried to come up here once. It's then tried to come up here again twice, because we've got 2 wicks now to the upside. So they act as like basically like a Bollinger Band where the wicks finished. So that shows you that it's rejecting off that area, rejecting once, rejecting twice. But it can be a fake out because you can see wicks. But what we need to do is, if we have those rejection of wicks, plus we're oversold, right? Or in this case, overbought. And also the Liberty links up as well, because Liberty is obviously a hell of a lot quicker. And also, have we already cleared a previous high? That's very important as well, which we also had to clear a wick at. So the wicks are literally just where their prices tried to come to and then rejected, try to come to and then rejected. But, you'll get little ones like this because we're dealing with the 1 minute. That's fine. I wouldn't stress too much about that unless there's a heap of consecutive ones. Like if there's 4 or 5 consecutive ones, that's definitely a good indicator. Like if they all happen to be the downside, heaps of wicks like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which you sometimes see, that means 5 times it tried to go down there, but then rejected off. What does that generally mean? Generally, that means we're seeing a reversal and price wants to come up on that particular example. But we can see here with this one here, with a 2 minute trade, we would have cleared that one nice and easy on that one. Not an ideal setup, but it's still enough confluence based on our indicators help back up what I thought was there. Hope that one sort of helps there seeing that one. Let's see if we can find one more, but that's fine. I hope that makes sense, Alison. They just show where price tried to get to and then came back to. Again, that video, that link I'll repost that Joey sent. That one I strongly recommend you watch. And make sure you just go through that. Let me see if there's anything else that pops up. What did EuroCAD do? Well, there's your big engulfing candle on EuroCAD. But yeah, we wouldn't have known that. Yeah, you wouldn't have known that one. Crappy. They're all in really weird spots.
It's not a good time to trade, is it, John?
No,
I'm not happy with any of it.
I think and look,
So is everyone the same with Dom when it comes to trading times, like 2 and 5, in between 2 and 5 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or does everyone kind of have different times?
I would personally say that it works for Dom. It can definitely work for you
Yep.
too. But I think it works for Dom because he is consistent with his time. He sets it like a schedule, like going to a shift at work. And so he knows how the markets move at that time every time. If you're going to 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., they're all going to move differently, 6 a.m. But if you set a time that you're like, I only trade between 5 and 7 p.m. or 2 and 3 or whatever you pick, the consistency of always coming to the charts at that time and you getting the feeling for the charts at that time, you're going to get a gist for how the charts want to move, what their personalities are like at that time.
Have you found your sweet spot yet with that, or are you just trade whenever you've got time?
At the moment I'm doing shift work. So in the last 2 weeks I've done a lot of shift work. So I actually personally, honestly, haven't done too much trading in the last week or so because every time I come to the charts, I'm either really, really tired or it's not at my time that I'd like to trade. I have personally found that I find my trades more successful between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. or 4:30 personally for me. Sometimes if I'm up really late at night, I've found trades between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. to be successful as well.
Yeah, I've found that as well. The later at night, that's when I found my little sweet spot. I don't know why, but
I think it's just really hard because some people just don't have the capabilities to be up at that time, especially if they're still doing their full-time jobs in 9 to 5. But if, like I said, I think it's not about the time that you're trading per se. Obviously, there are more volatile and quieter times on the markets, but if you are consistent with your time and your, I guess, shift for trading, that's where you're going to find your results.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
I do second that. I think that's the bit. It's just consistency. Like that's all it was. And the reason why consistency in the sense of you just get used to how the market moves during that time slot. And if you're finding that being a better sweet spot for you, mate, later at night, like that's if you're doing late at night, you've probably all of a sudden Tokyo's closed by then and you've just got London, you're approaching New York opening. So there could be in that between there, you've only got one market moving. It just seems to be better for you. And that's what trial and error is for 100%. What was I going to say? I don't know if she's still on. I can't see because I'm no longer host. I just want to see if she's still on.
I can make you host again. Will you?
I don't know if she's still there anymore. Is Kelly still there? Do you see Kelly? I don't see all the names. For some reason, I can't see all the names.
I can't see Kelly, but
no, that's all right. She was on before.
No, I can't see Kelly.
She was really good. She's just gone live. I'll put on she's not here, so I can throw her under the bus in a good way, though. She went live this week and killed it. So last week, she's only been 2 weeks in and just been doing it on her lunch break. So she literally, just because she, again, agrees with that time, it just, obviously I'm teaching the method that works best for me. So most people are learning that way and they seem best, but she's literally doing it in a lunch break. She's got 45 minutes, which is, starts at 1, so she goes 1 to about 1:30 and does it, and she's been making her weekly wage in a lunch break, which is crazy.
That's out of control.
That's amazing.
And that's
unreal.
And she's been really consistent with it because she picked a time and she stayed at it and she kept going. And she said the same thing as me. She does change her time frames a little bit, but it's not huge. And you see with me as well, guys, I don't change my time frames heaps. It's between that, 1 minute to 3 minutes. It's somewhere in between there, depending on what my sweet spot is and how things are going. That's why I demo trade. Also, in that video I did today, I did some OTC because I jumped on a little bit earlier. And I guess because of the public holiday, the pairs were paying really crap. It was only like 70s, a lot of 70s, but OTC was paying 94 and 92%. I tell people to stay clear of OTC because of the because it is against you're basically like trading with the house cards, because of that it's their broker, but the methods still apply and they still work. And OTC does tend to pay a little bit more because again it's a higher risk because you're trading against them, and they also allow weekends, so it does give you the ability to trade weekends. So not trying to change it completely, but most people are going to have more time on the weekends generally, and you have the time during the day, and it kind of OTC always moves at the same speed because it is OTC. So look, give it a crack over the weekend this weekend. Give it an option. I know a couple of them that are doing really well. A couple of my students doing well just from OTC. What I'm actually working on at the moment with you guys is working more of a night method. And I'll just annotate on the screen, but obviously with nighttime, what we tend to see is more of this. As I've showed you a few times, where we essentially grind the Bollinger Band to the up and to the downside, because we're in obviously huge bullish and bearish environments where we roll quite quick. So essentially trading more with the trend as opposed to trying to catch the bounce from top to bottom and catching the swing. So I'm just test piling a lot. I'm doing a shitload of demo trades just to try to see and give this as another alternate method for people that can only tend to trade during the nights, which obviously, when it tends to be more volatile. And that just becomes a case of where we use the EMA, like I've spoken a few times, as our new support and resistance, or as our new top and bottom of the Bollinger Band. So bear with me on that one. I'm working with it and just trialing a few different things and seeing, but at the moment, just keep trialing with what we've done so far, because it works. It 100% works. There's enough students doing it who are getting the results. Any last questions or any last things? Well, look, see if I can see one more. Okay. Same, she's not on because I was going to get her to speak about how she'd been going, but that's fine. I'll try to get her on next week. Just talk. Actually, while we're sort of here, and we are approaching that 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, we're approaching that 1 hour close. So remember how last time we did that call last week, there was no setups, and then as soon as I jumped off the call and it was 5 minutes after the hour close, everything settled, and then heaps of opportunities present. We're at that position basically now.
Yeah.
At the top of the Bollinger Band, we're moving up. I'm just going to get rid of all the ones that are not in that position. Euro CAD's there. AUD CAD's in that similar position again, because obviously it's both CAD pairs. AUD USD is in a similar position. AUJPY is close-ish. Euro JPY is there. So just waiting to see all that touch the open, and then there's your fall away. If you just jump to Euro JPY, Danny, you'll see this little IC move, which was so like this is going to be a little bit more for our advanced guys, but I'm happy for it to be on there. How do I get rid of my annotation? I can't. It's annoying.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you
go. But basically, right, there's these little things, and Ryan, you remember this from our smart money stuff, but essentially, it's like what we call a footprint, and it's called that is a little mini IC candle that's in that entire move. So if we're looking at this move here, which was our top to bottom of the Bollinger Band, then all of a sudden we just have that one little random blimp in here, which is the last time they bought to sold, to then continue the downward move. And this is an area where they needed to return back to. And what you'll see a lot in this form of trading is basically when you understand smart money concepts, we literally just move from one IC area, which would be here, to another IC area, whether it's the upside or the downside. And they just continue to go from point A to point B to point A to point B. And then they'll do a little bit of sideways movement like they've sort of done here to create to continue its move to come back to the next IC area. That's all it is. It's distribution and accumulation, distribution, redistribution, reaccumulation. So what we can see here is that wick came exactly to the opening. Oh, that's a terrible line, but to the opening at the bottom of that institutional candle, and it rejected off. Then we had an engulfing candle, boom, and now we've had. This is awesome. Now, I would have traded this, and Danny, so you've already got on the little retracement there. You're on for 2 minutes. I think you're going to be right. The only thing is the Bollinger Bands have come really close together, which I don't. Yeah. So I may have actually personally gone 1.5 minutes, but I think you should still clear. So that's awesome. That requires a little bit more knowledge to understand, but just be aware of look left to get right. So see what's taking place. Do you want to just zoom out and touch? Danny, just have to go back to that.
Yeah, that's a really good point you just made. That's good.
And you'll know this, man, because you've done that training. But that's why that's reacted exactly there. And we did it on the hourly close. So 5 minutes towards the hourly close. So that's just come up to close that last little IC candle to come back down. And it's still going to go up. It's still going to move up because the next area when it comes to wants to take this high. Right.
Yep. And go back up to that other high. What you've marked on the left there. Yep.
So I just like to spend a bit of time before I enter, or where, like, right then, before we got there, price was just like here, we're just doing this. So I'm like, okay, why is it there? You need to ask yourself that question. Those 5 W's that Jenna talk about all the time. Where's price heading? What's it doing? What's price doing now, et cetera, et cetera. So where's it heading to? If price was down here at the time, I still know that we are still coming to this area. Now, this is the decision point. We could just blast straight past it, but I need to see what happened. What happened and gave that away was this rejection or wick. So going back to Alison's question, that little wick to the upside, that pull back down, which just conveniently exactly to the open, bang. Then we had, and Danny got on it and I didn't even have to say it. We had the engulfing candle. There's your 50% retracement, bang, sell away, fucking easy days. I would have gone all in on that one, 110%.
Yeah.
That was really cool to see that live. That's a good one to finish on.
Yeah.
So hopefully that all makes sense. A bit more advanced, guys. A few of you that are new that will go over your head, that's okay. But just listen to this again, just so you can start to get that to sink in, because that one's really powerful, that setup.
Yep.
Well, that's it. I think that'd be a good way. It's a full hour then. We went a little bit longer, but I really appreciate you, Danny, immensely for doing that. That was really cool. We'll do more of those. I think we'll actually book the call where it's like the first few minutes, we'll do a few little ones like that, and then we'll do some live chart stuff just to get the brain.
Yeah, well done, Danny. That was really good and helpful.
Oh, no worries. You're welcome.
Well done, Dom. Well done, Dom, again.
Great work, guys. Appreciate you all. Any last questions before we finish up? I know no one loves to really talk. I'm again got time tomorrow. I have gaps between say 12 and 3. I have some half an hour slots. So if you need me, like Dom, I definitely need to speak to you, mate. I know we're seeing each other Saturday, but probably we are due. Ryan, we're definitely due to have one chat.
Dom, I'll probably hit you up next because obviously I told you I just got Liberty going 2-3 days ago. So I want to have a good week on that. Definitely. And then you and I can have a good session as in.
Okay, yeah, done.
Yep. So yeah, I've only just fired Liberty up like 3 days ago. So
playing around with that, mate, but that's fine. We'll touch
I'll
base.
play around with it and then we'll touch base.
Good guys. All right. Thanks again, Danny. Ripper. Appreciate you.
No worries. Thank you for everyone that joined the call and dealing with me and my learning to teach. But thank you for coming off mute, everyone that did, and answering in the chat and getting involved. I think that is honestly the key to learning, kind of getting in the realm of the unknown and humiliating yourself, I guess, when you admit that you don't know. I think that's when you learn the most instead of just blindly listening and being like, yep. So thank you for joining in.
Well done.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.